Hey y'all, hi. Okay, the time has come, finally, for the drugstore tinted lip balms. This is a multi-video search. It started with just a handful of random tinted lip balms. I think at the beginning I didn't realize how difficult it was going to be to find a tinted lip balm that I truly love. That's what I'm trying to find. So I launched with a handful of random ones. Then I did a second video specifically about luxury tinted lip balms. Spoiler alert, it was kind of a disaster. Of course, I'll link both of those down below. And now, based on your wonderful recommendations in the comments on both of those videos, I have before me a plethora of drugstore priced tinted lip balms, and I'm hoping that my dream will be among them. They look pretty promising, but there are also a lot of them. I just counted there are 12. I don't think I can stress myself out by trying to make this video snappy. I think it's going to be a meandering journey. Let's settle in. I'll try to stay calm so that this can be one of those relaxing, meditative, perfectly distracting and calming videos to which I know that many of you like to zone out at the end of the day. And it'll get you through. There are 12, so it'll be long enough to get you through. If this is your first time to my channel, then welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Hannah. I make videos about beauty, aesthetics, and consumerism, and I am the author of a recently published prize-winning book of poetry, which I will link at the top of the description box down below. Let us now get into the meat of this video. I've set the stage. I don't know if you can tell. I've set the stage by basically wearing all over my face and body and head exactly what I wear on days when I want a product like this. So we have a little bit of tinted complexion product, just evening out my skin, green color corrector, and just a little bit of concealer mixed in. A little bit of brow filler, a little bit of cheek color, and that's it. These are my everyday earrings. We've got a messy ponytail. I put the hair in the ponytail, then I rolled around on the bed feeding the baby, and I just left it. So this is the authentic, most of the time, hair and a white t-shirt. This is what I look like on a lot of days, and I am often looking to finish this look and just go about my day with my dream tinted lip balm that I haven't found yet. So these are the criteria. I want it to be in a bullet format. That's my format of choice. All 12 of the ones that I'm testing today are in bullets of one type or another. So I'm not even going to talk about that as we go forward. They all check that box. But that's why there are some good formulas and kind of well-known tinted lip balms that might check all my other boxes that aren't included in this video, because if they're not bullets, they're out before we even start. So with that out of the way, these are actually the criteria that we'll be discussing in this video. Number 1, pigment level. I'm looking for something that's tinted, so it has a little bit of je ne sais quoi, but it's so lightly pigmented that I can slather it on, overline, get it all over my lips and a little bit around the surrounding area without a mirror, without looking like a mess. Basically, I need it to be lightly pigmented enough that it doesn't look like lipstick on me. That's partly so that I can wear it with light makeup or no makeup. On days when I have absolutely not a stitch of makeup on my face, I still want to be able to kind of warm up my lips and nourish them with something without it being incongruous with the rest of my appearance and the vibe of that day. Now, caveat here, I'm very pale, so what is too pigmented for me, for many people might actually be the perfect pigment level. All of my assessments of pigment level must be taken with that grain of salt. But since I'm looking for my perfect one, I'm looking for something that is really quite lightly tinted. And it's surprisingly difficult to find. Number 2, texture. I want it to be thick and nourishing, not that very thin, slippy, almost just layer of oil that kind of fades away within minutes. This is why I searched beyond my original one, which was the NARS Afterglow Lip Balm. I like it a lot, checks a lot of my boxes, just a little bit too thin. You know those lip balms where you take the lid off, you look at it, it looks promising, it looks like a product, then you start putting it onto your lips and it's just very hard and just a little sort of slick of oil is transferring to your lips? No, that's not what I want. I want actual product, like a thick layer of product to be somewhat painted onto my lips and to have some stick-to-itiveness to stay throughout the day. And this is sort of texture adjacent. I want it to feel healthy for my lips, to feel like it's actually nourishing them. I want it to feel good to apply and not gross, like it has gross stuff in it. And if I eat and I ingest some of it, then that's a little bit questionable. I'm looking for a formula that applies relatively thickly and feels good to wear in all of these ways. Number 3, shine. I want it to be shiny, ideally very shiny. I would love it if it were very, very shiny, but quite shiny will be enough. Quite shiny will get us there. I just don't want something that has that kind of matte haze in the finish. And then number 4, scent. This kind of goes along with number 2 with it feeling good to wear, but I'm putting in its own category because sometimes something will check all of the other boxes and then this one will be its downfall. Basically, I need a scent that's not off-putting to me. So not too strong, not too perfumey, not too chemically or fake. I tend to be more okay with fruit scents than I do with mints and vanillas, but I feel like anything can work. Actually, certain fruits, citrus. I tend to be more okay with citrus than with like cherry and watermelon and things like that. Anything can work as long as it's not too strong and too chemically. Okay, so those are the 4 points of assessment. We have pigment level, we have texture, shine, and scent. And I'm not mentioning color. All 12 of these, I've gotten them in a color that I think is going to be like a My Lips but better color. I think if something checks all 4 of my other boxes, then there are actually a number of colors in a given formula that could work. Color will have bearing, but I'm more interested in whether any of these products checks all 4 of those boxes. Let's begin. This was from a recommendation in the comments, as I think all of these were. You know, I can tell right out of the gate that color actually is going to matter. Let's say there are actually 5. There are 5 points of assessment, and color is the last one. I want it to be a color that I like. It makes sense. Every one of these is a slightly different color, so why am I pretending that it doesn't matter? Because this, Hurraw, I think makes a lot of clear lip balms, and then a few of them are tinted. This is the brown one. I love brown lip products. The pigment level looks good. The color looks a little orange. That's what makes me realize that actual color is definitely going to matter. Let's see how it feels. Starting off with pigment level, not bad. I think that the color is a little bit orange on me. The color is a little bit intense for me because of my coloring and because of how pale I am. But I actually think that it's not super overly tinted. The tint is sitting in the formula pretty well and making it pretty wearable. Maybe if I had absolutely zero makeup on, like a super no makeup day, and I was just looking for a little something to nourish my lips, it might be a little bit too much. I might not reach for it, but it's not failing spectacularly. The tint level test, it doesn't look fully like a lipstick on me. So it's kind of like between a check and an X for pigment level for this. I think the issue is largely actually the color. Texture, not thick enough for me. It is doing that thing where it feels a little bit like a hard, slick surface of the bullet that I'm rubbing onto my lips and it's just transferring a thin, oily layer. It's decent. I think a lot of people would love it, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. So it doesn't check that box. Shine, very good. I like the shine level of this. It's really beautiful. It doesn't have that matte haze. Scent, this has a hazelnut scent because it's the hazelnut tinted lip balm. So it's hazelnut in color and in scent. And it's relatively light. It's like a light, nutty, almost like a hazelnut latte or something, like hazelnut mocha, I think. Totally fine for me. Then the color, it's just a little bit orange to me. It's not pretty, but I feel like the color and tint level together push it a little bit in that slightly more makeup-y realm. I think if it wasn't failing the texture test, it would be much, much closer to what I'm looking for and I might be able to get over the tint. But as it stands, we're about like half and half with pass and fail for my criteria. So it's a beautiful product, but it's not the one. Next up, this is also definitely from a comment. You all really came through in the comments. Nivea Blackberry Lip Care. I can already tell that it's going to, I think it's going to be a combination of, again, like the other one, color and tint level that are going to make it fail. This sort of raspberry, cool toned raspberry color isn't my favorite, but let's see how it does with all of the other criteria. Okay, so this is a really beautiful product, but before we get into it, I'm going to move the color discussion up to be with the tint level as we go through. So we're going to go through talking about pigment level and color and then move on to texture, shine, and scent. I feel like that is going to make more sense. Oh my gosh. This is going to be the smash hit, perfect, hit it out of the park, absolute best thing ever for those of you who are looking for what I'm looking for, but you have darker skin than I have. And this isn't going to be as contrasty, especially if this is a color that suits your coloring. For me, you know, this is a strong lip look, and I wouldn't be wearing this on a day when I'm just running to the grocery store with no other makeup on my face. With this amount of makeup, you know, it balances it out, but it creates a makeup look on my face, and that is because of the tint level and the color. Maybe if this product comes in a color that's paler, that's more of a match for my skin tone or for my natural lip color, it wouldn't look so makeup-y and then it could work. So I'm going to look into that. But the Blackberry one was the one that I think is like the cult classic and that was specifically recommended to me, and that is why I tried it. So I think it's partly the pigment level because it is pretty heavily tinted, but it's largely the color that is causing it to fail that part of my test. However, all of the other 3 are the biggest check boxes I've ever checked. I mean, it's not the shiniest, but going through an order, texture is where this one has it. It is thick. It's transferring a lot. It feels so nourishing. It makes me want to keep applying it and keep applying it. It feels like a lip mask. You know, it has that really wonderful coating the lips quality, but without actually building up super thick. Very, very good. Feels really good to put on. Feels like it's packed with good ingredients and just feels really good. The shine level, I mean, it's passing. It passes. It could be shinier. It doesn't have that gloss stick shine, but it's shiny enough for me. It's working. And then the scent it's like blackberry candy. It's pretty strong, but it's not too fakey sweet. It reminds me of some like blackberry tasting marshmallow candies from my childhood, and I really like it. Would that it came in a color that worked better for me, and it may. It may. My first act after I finish this video will be to go and look that up. But as it stands, this is not the one. Okay, next up, the most suggested in my comments, the Burt's Bees Tinted Lip Balm in Red Dahlia. And as you might be able to tell from the way that the bullet looks, this is one that I've been wearing. I wanted this to pretty much mostly be a first impressions, just going through one by one, but I couldn't help myself trying this one as soon as it arrived, and I've been wearing it every day since then. Look at that watery, watercolory tint level. This is the light level of pigment with a gratifying shade of color that I've been looking for. And here's how it looks on the lips. So pigment level, perfect. Absolutely perfect. This is a level of pigment that I feel comfortable wearing when I don't have any other makeup on my face. And with a light makeup look like this, it's balanced. It's not making it like a lips focused look. It feels like I have the appropriate finish on my lips to work with everything else that's going on, not just with my makeup, but with my hair, with the vibe, you know, everything. And I love this color. It's like a quite brown rose, sort of. Really a sophisticated, subtle color, and one that it's hard to find in the drugstore in anything. That contributes to how well this one is performing in the pigment and color categories and kind of what they add up to together. Texture. It's okay. It's okay enough that I've reached for it over and over again since I started wearing it, especially because over the past couple of days, I haven't really been wearing very much makeup. It's not as good as the Nivea though. So something else could triumph over this if it has a thicker, more satisfying texture and it checks all the same boxes of this one. Shine is decent. It's like the Nivea. It's not a matte, hazy product, but it's not that super shine, but it's okay. It's shiny enough. But again, if something were shinier than this and checked all the other boxes too, I would like it better. And then scent, I think it's a very light, very mild fruit scent, kind of similar to the Nivea, but not as strong. I understand why this is a cult classic. It might be the one. It might be the ultimate winner. It's just, I feel like texture-wise, it's like a 7 out of 10 instead of being a full 100% enthusiastic hearty check mark. And with shine, it's also kind of a 7 out of 10. So very, very almost there. Let's see what else we have. Another one from Nivea. I think I just saw this on Amazon when I was looking for the other one. I don't think that this was specifically recommended to me by any of you, or maybe I didn't know which one you were talking about. The Nivea Rich Care and Color Balm in Smoky Rose. All right, pigment level is looking promising. I can already tell from the way that it's transferring to my hand that this is more of a gloss stick. Okay, this is so interesting. And this is so high-end feeling. I feel like this competes with like Sephora makeup, definitely smashes luxury lip balms out of the park. I mean, this feels like the Hourglass one that I really am into. It doesn't have that menthol plumping thing going on, but I prefer it without. I'm gonna have to go a little out of order because there's an interesting weird thing going on here, which is that the shine level and sort of the way the pigment is sitting in the product and the pearl is making it very lipsticky. So it's reading as a lipstick on me, like as a makeup product. I think it's something to do with the opacity of the pigment and the shine together. It's reading as some kind of intense makeup-y, lipsticky, gloss sticky thing, even though the pigment level is relatively light and the color is, you know, it's a bit pink. Again, if it were more like Red Dahlia, the Burt's Bees, if it were a little more of a natural color and less of a lipstick color for me, it might not be giving that lipsticky impression. But it's the pigment level is great, I think. I think it's really lovely. The color is a little lipsticky for me, so that's letting me down. I'm gonna skip texture for a second and move on to shine, because it's the shine and the color together together weirdly that are making it read as a lipstick. And so because of that, it sort of fails the pigment and color duo. The answer to the question, could I just throw this on when I don't have any other makeup on? For me, it's no. It really does look like a lipstick, especially in person. I don't know if it's really reading that way on camera, but I see myself in person and I'm like, oh, she's wearing a messy ponytail, very light makeup or no makeup, and a shiny lipstick. Like, that's how it looks. A mysterious alchemical product, I feel. Texture. It's a bit on the thin side, but very gratifying to apply, nourishing feeling. I think the fact that it's Nivea contributes to that. It feels really good for my lips, and I would enjoy applying it over and over throughout the day, feeling like I was nourishing my lips, feeling like it's pretty effortless. I think it definitely does check the texture box, although it's not as thick as the other one from Nivea, and I like that thick feeling, you know? But it does check that box. Shine. I cannot believe how shiny this is. What is in it? A pearl, like a crushed pearl. It is like shining. I mean, how did they do that? This makes me want to try other colors in this and find one that maybe isn't so pink on me if it exists. It really checks the shine box and I really like it for that, and it's unscented. So this is interesting. It's like it's got some huge boons. There's a lot that's in its favor and there are some ways in which it outperforms all of the others, but what it all adds up to is something that's a little bit too makeup-y for being the winner in this exact search. I do feel like it's a find though. This is a find. It has surprised me. Okay, this one is a suggestion lifted directly from the comments. It's the L'Oreal Glow Paradise something. L'Oreal Glow Paradise in the shade 170 Luminous Coral. I can already tell the hand swatch is really telling all. It smells like perfume. Here we go. I'm trying to film, like the swatch footage. Ugh. The smell and the scent are disqualifying it, but it's a spectacular fail in a lot of ways. Pigment level, it's more the color that's the issue. It's too orange and it has pearl in it, and so it's sort of sitting on top of the skin of the lips, doesn't look natural. The pigment color combo together make it a total fail. Texture, very thin. It's melting onto my lips and just becoming watery thin. Shine, it's shiny. Can't deny it's shiny. A big juicy checkbox for that one. And then the scent, it's like it tastes like cheap perfume has been sprayed into my mouth. Hairspray, actually, almost. Unacceptable. I'm gonna take it off. Blech. It was like sunscreen. It's like a scented spray sunscreen got sprayed into my mouth, like an aerosol. Okay, this is another one that was heavily suggested, heavily requested for me to try. It's a new product from NYX, the Fat Oil Slick Click Shiny Lip Balm. And this is the shade Going Viral, which one of you specifically suggested for me. We can already see the issue, can we not? Pigment level. This is a lipstick, but let's see how it does in all of the other categories. Okay, clearly looks like a lipstick on me. I feel like a blow-up doll. It's fine. It absolutely fails the pigment level test for me. And color, it's fine. It's beautiful, but any color at this intense pigment level, it would fail the color and pigment test. So it's a no-go because of that. However, the texture has really, really impressed me. I thought this was going to be a thin. I thought this was going to be one of those really thin, slidey products because it's called fat oil, but it's definitely more fat than it is oil. It's like a thick, sticky, not sticky like sticks your lips together, but it's sticking to my lips and sticking to itself and building up and feels really nourishing. I would buy the clear with glitter version of this. There's like a clear sparkly version. I would buy that because it's really well formulated. It's amazing. I love the texture of it. It feels, gosh, even more gratifying on my lips than the Hourglass one that I'm so into. That's some surprise information from this video, from this product. I was not expecting that. So absolutely smashing the texture category and the shine category. It looks absolutely beautiful. And the scent is like a very, very light, maybe vanilla candy, whatever it is. It's so light that it's not bothering me at all. It's perfectly acceptable. Everything about this is way more phenomenal than I was expecting it to be. If it weren't so pigmented, it would be seriously in the running. But sadly, it's an amazing lip product, but it's a lipsticky lip product for me specifically. Okay, next up, the Sun Bum Tinted Sunscreen Lip Balm SPF 15 in Nude Beach. I think this just came up when I was trolling Ulta for tinted lip balms. I don't know if anyone actually suggested this in the comments. Oh no. So something really interesting, when I was taking the label off, the entire thing peeled off seamlessly and left it totally like clean and kind of beautiful and minimal looking. I mean, that's great. The packaging is very well designed. But as soon as I took the lid off, the scent filled the air, and it's like that really strong old school coconut sunscreen scent. Really, really strong. I can tell where this is going, but let's see how it does in all the other categories. Pigment level looks okay. Color looks a little orange. Okay, very interesting. On me, the combination of the pigment level and the color are making it too strong to be my winner today. The scent and the taste aside, it just really does read as a lipstick on me. If I needed something just nourishing and very subtle, I wouldn't go for it, because on me, it really does add a punch of color to the lips. And that's partly because it builds on itself, and so the pigment level builds, and it's also the color. Too bad. The texture, however, at first I was like, oh no, because it felt a little grainy going on, and I was like, ugh, it's yucky, it's sunscreen, it's poorly formulated. But immediately the grains started to melt and become that thick, like painted on layer of very nourishing lip product that I love, that I've been seeking, that I've been hoping for, very much like the Nivea Blackberry. Texture-wise, I mean, it's really beautiful, really, really good. They are really trying to take care of your lips with this product, and it's definitely the kind of thing you would be able to wear like on the beach, and it would protect your lips. So they've done a really good job with that. And the shine is decent as well. It definitely gets a checkbox in the shine department. If it weren't for the scent and the taste, I would definitely consider buying, I think there's a clear version of this, the clear version of this as an ideal, like a lip protectant sunscreen for when you're out hiking or on the beach or something like that, because the texture of the formula is assisting it in performing that as well. But again, I feel like scented sunscreen is being sprayed into my mouth. It's a very, very strong classic beach sunscreen coconut SPF taste. Like I can just taste it and I can't wait to take it off. And it's too bad, because in terms of how it feels on the lips, I don't want to take it off. I really love the way it feels on the lips, but I can't handle this taste and smell. Some people don't mind that kind of thing though, if it would make you feel like you're in vacation mode, and if this color wouldn't be too strong on you, or if you're looking for something this lipsticky. I think in all other ways, it's a really good product. Okay, next up, the KIKO Milano Colored Lip Balm in the shade Almond. Some of you recommended this. This one was from the comments. Oh, look at the pretty bullet. This is very promising. Look at that. It looks like the Burt's Bees. It smells like almonds. Okay, we almost got there with this. This is a really interesting product. I'm so glad that you all recommended it to me to try, because pigment level is fantastic and the color is fantastic. It's that slightly brown, grounded, my lips but better shade. I really, really like the color. I really like the pigment level. Totally effortless. But the texture, y'all, the texture, this is doing that thing where it's just so melty. There's something in it, most of what it's made of melts completely at body temperature. So as soon as it makes contact with the lips, it's becoming almost a water, like a watery oil. It's just going to something so thin on my lips, and it doesn't build on itself. It does feel like it's probably nourishing. It just feels like it's going to evaporate within 5 minutes. And I feel gravitate to it over and over throughout the day, because I would feel like it was a fool's errand, like just putting it on my lips. It just feels like it's melting away. It's going to do a combination of evaporating and sinking in, like soaking in, and kind of just be gone. So the texture is a letdown. It doesn't have as much beefiness even as the Burt's Bees does. And it's so similar to the Burt's Bees in a lot of other ways that I feel like it's not going to win out over that one. It's shinier though. It's a little bit shinier than the Burt's Bees. It definitely works in the shine department. And the scent is really lovely. It's like a comforting almond, sweet almond, sort of marzipan, but very light. When you smell the bullet, it's really there. And then as you apply it, it's like fading away. It's not very strong. So a beautiful product. And if you like that very thin layer of almost watery oil, like an oil slick type of thing, if that's what you want, you would prefer this to the Burt's Bees, which feels a little more sticky, a little more like a lip mask. This doesn't feel at all like a lip mask. It feels more like an oil stick, like a lip oil. It feels like a stick lip oil that totally earns its name of lip oil. Exactly what I've always imagined a lip oil to be, even though companies are throwing that term around and then totally not making sense with what they produce under that name. This is like a solid state lip oil. I have like a perfumey taste in my mouth, but I think it's just a holdover from the Skin Bum. What is that? What's that what it's called? Sun Bum. Skin Bum. I think it's just a holdover, but I want to mention it just in case it's not. And the KIKO Milano actually had some sort of perfume. I don't think it did though. I think it's just stuck in my mouth. It's still in my mouth. Okay, next up, Revlon Shine. Revlon Super Lustrous Glass Shine Lipstick in the shade Toasting Glasses. I guess it's toasting glasses, like the glasses that you toast with. This was a commenter suggestion, and I feel like one of you said that it says it's a lipstick, but it's really lightly pigmented. I don't know. I'm suspicious. Y'all, this looks pretty. I feel like you trolled me. Okay, whoever recommended this, you did know that I would love the color. That's true. Like, I do love it for itself, as itself, but it does not win this competition, right? This isn't what I'm looking for in this, on this day. Like, this isn't fitting the bill of a tinted lip balm. The pigment level is just too high. The color, for me on another day, in another realm, is amazing. It's very beautiful. It's like a brownie mauve it's a deep mauve without being really deep, and I don't know, it's like not too raisiny. It's just beautifully balanced. It's really, really beautiful. It's like a deep nude on me. It's like my version of a deep nude. Really, really, with a little grunge, you know what I mean? A little gray, but it is a lipstick. It says it's a lipstick. It's marketed as a lipstick. It is a lipstick. So it doesn't check those boxes. Maybe blotted down, but it's not something that I would grab and just slather on a day when all I'm doing is like going on a walk, going to the grocery store. You know what I mean? Texture. It's a little thin for me for this. The texture does suit the product, so I'm not criticizing it. What we have here is a really lovely product in every way. The pigment, the color, the texture, the shine, the scent even, like it itself is a really lovely product, but fitting it into the boxes of my criteria today, it fails pigment and color, like it fails that sort of presence on the lips group. It fails texture for me today because it's a little thin. It does have that kind of melty, thin quality. It's thin for a nourishing lip balm. For a lipstick, for a shiny lipstick, it's actually a great light weight that still holds its own with pigment, but it fails that checkbox today. Shine, we can give it shine. It's shiny. And scent, we can give it. It's just a very, very light, sweet vanilla, slight candy scent. But whatever else it was, the Sun Bum and the L'Oreal, the taste of them got in my mouth. I think it was actually all the way back to the L'Oreal, messing me up. But the scent of this one is absolutely fine. Blotted down, there we have something that looks quite a lot like the Burt's Bees and the KIKO Milano. So it's really, really beautiful, wearable, lovely, but functionally, just in terms of like grabbing it and slathering it on, nourishing the lips, putting a little tint on, it's just not what I'm looking for. Oh, another Burt's Bees. This is the next one up. Burt's Bees Gloss and Glow Glossy Balm. So it's like Burt's Bees is trying to hop on the gloss balm train. I forgot that this was on there. And this is in the shade 905 Chai Time. Looks promising, but what's the pigment level gonna be like, Burt? Also very light. Oh my gosh. How is this? It smells like one of those markers. You know those markers that had a scent? Like there was the black licorice one and the lemon one. One of them smelled like melon. That's what this smells like. I like the color, but it's just a little lipsticky. It's got a little bit of body. It builds, the pigment built to basically to opacity, and it really looks like I'm wearing a lipstick. Like the one that I just had on, I'm sure that it would blot down to something less lipsticky, but it doesn't have that quality where I can just slather it on, overline without a mirror. Feel like it's a lip treatment, but it has a little bit of oomph because of a little bit of tint. The other Burt's Bees one had that, and this doesn't have that. It goes to makeup too quickly. I do really like this color. It doesn't look too pink. It's really pretty. Gosh, the scent might be too much. It might fail the scent test when we get there in a moment. So pigment level, not quite right. Color, it's nice, but again, color and pigment level are kind of working together and it fails that pairing. Texture could be thicker. Honestly, it's like a 5 out of 10. It doesn't have that lip mask quality that I'm looking for. It's a little thin. Shine, it's there. It's shinier than the other Burt's Bees one, so it gets that. Scent, I don't like it. It's a little fakey, a little too strong, melon, a little weird. It's an interesting product. It's fine, but it's not the one. Much subtler when blotted down. So if you are not not going to layer and layer and layer it on like I do or like I'm doing because I'm trying to get that thick built up quality. You know, I'm trying to build it up so that it feels like it's super nourishing. But if you're not doing that, if you're just swiping on one layer and it ends up looking like this, very natural, beautiful color. And if you like melon marker scent, then maybe it's the one for you. I think with that one, maybe I did it a disservice by layering it so intensely. It's just, that's how I'm going to apply these things on days when my lips are dry, you know? I like how this looks though. Very natural, still shiny. I like that. Okay, 2 more. I just laid these out in random order and I'm very excited to get to this next one. The most suggested. This one is the most suggested of anything in the comments on all of the videos about lip balms. It's the rom&nd Glasting Melting Balm. So rom&nd is, I believe, K-Beauty. I got this from Amazon, but you can get it from YesStyle and Stylovana and all those places. This is in the shade Scotch Nude. So many of you are certain that this is going to be the one for me. I'm worried about pigment level and texture. Maybe they're not all this pigmented. Maybe Scotch Nude is more pigmented than the others. Do you see this? Okay, very beautiful. Far and away one of the most beautiful products that I've tested today, and I totally understand why people love it and why people have been recommending that I try it, but you're just not listening to me when I tell you how pale I am and how light of a pigment level I'm looking for. This is totally a lipstick for me, but there are some things that make it extraordinary. Let's go through the list. Clearly it fails the pigment level test. I consider this like a high level of pigment. It's like a very pigmented product. The color though is so beautiful. This is a really beautiful color. And if it were less pigmented, it would be even better. But you know, the color and pigment level together add up to a very strong lipstick on me. So not that, but the texture for something so shiny, for a gloss stick, for something with this like vinyl quality. It's so sturdy. It's so thick. It's so nourishing feeling. It builds on itself in such a gratifying way. Very like the one from NYX. Like this and the one from NYX are so similar, but I like the color way better of this one than the one from NYX, which I just put there next to it. This color is much more me. So everything I said about the NYX one and how much I like that applies to this as well. Texture is fantastic. The shine is obviously there. The scent is also kind of like a light fruit candy. Not light, like it's a fruit candy scent. It's fine. It's okay for me. The scent is okay. Not the best, but not the worst. Just not a tinted lip balm. I'm looking for a tinted lip balm. It's really nice, but it's not a tinted lip balm. There it is, just blotted once onto a paper towel. Much subtler, much less like a lipstick. It doesn't have that quality where I can apply it straight from the bullet without a mirror. It doesn't have that super sheer quality. Obviously, it can be worn as something much more natural. And this is a very beautiful look, but it's not the one. I think with these ones that they work when they're applied thinly, but when you layer them on with a lot of layers, they're too pigmented and too thick. Maybe that's why people are recommending them, because maybe you're out there just applying a little bit and you're like, oh, this is a light tint. And then I'm over here applying like 5 layers and it's like, no, it's not. It's actually very pigmented. But I'm looking for something that I can apply lots of layers of because I'm looking for something that I can use to layer on and nourish my dry lips. So that's like a subtlety maybe in my criteria that I didn't include. And that maybe explains the discrepancy between some of your experiences with these products and mine in terms of pigment level. Okay, last up. I can't remember whether this was recommended or not. I might have just seen it on Amazon when I was looking at those Nivea products. It's the Neutrogena Revitalizing Lip Balm with sunscreen SPF 20 in the shade Fresh Plum. And it says sheer tint. Sheer tint? I'll be the judge of that, Neutrogena. It looks pretty sheer. On my hand, it looks pretty sheer. Ugh, I just checked the back and it has chemical sunscreens in it. Octinoxate and octibenzone. I probably wouldn't have gotten it if I had seen that because I don't use chemical sunscreen. Actually, so does the Sun Bum one. I wasn't even thinking about that when I was picking these. So know that, you know, it's not going to be my one because of that. It's interesting. It checks some of the boxes. I'll go through it anyway. Pigment level, it's the same as many of these. It's pretty light, but when I build it up enough so that it feels thick enough to be really nourishing, when I build it up to that lip mask thickness, it has pretty strong color. It's pretty strong. But, you know, just the tiniest bit of blotting and it's fine. It's just, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that feels primarily like a nourishing product and then just has a little bit of very wearable tint. And maybe it's the color. Maybe if the color were a little lighter, it wouldn't be so impactful like that. But as it stands, it's a little on the strong side. Not as pigmented clearly as some of these other products. It's okay. I like the color as well. I like this shade. So I feel like it's sort of 50-50 in terms of pigment. Like, it's passable. It's not too bad, but it's also not hitting the ball out of the park. It's not like the exact thing that I'm looking for. Texture is the same. It's okay. It's not the thinnest that I've tried today. It's not as thin as the one from Hurraw, for example, the very first one, but it's not as thick as the one from Nivea. Shine, same. It's pretty shiny, but it's not as shiny as some of the others. And scent is the same. It's actually a pretty strong sort of fruit, maybe cucumber and fruit or something, or pear. That's what it is. It's pear. I don't mind it, but it's pretty present. So yeah, it's sort of okay across the board, that one. And then I'm not going to keep using it because of those chemical sunscreens. So that's too bad. And the winner is Burt's Bees today. The Burt's Bees Tinted Lip Balm in Red Dahlia. I'm going to put it back on. The winner is the Burt's Bees Tinted Lip Balm, pretty much specifically because of how light and watercolory the tint is, how barely there the pigment is, while also being a color that I really love, like not too bright, not too pink, not too orange. You know, it's this dusky kind of brown tinged color, so it doesn't look off on me. So the color that's there is working, and the pigment level is light enough that I can literally just go round and round and round and round and round, go over a little bit onto the skin outside of my lips and still have it look okay and still have it not look like I'm wearing a lipstick. Basically, this is kind of the only one that did that. So because it checks those all important boxes and the texture is decent and it feels good to apply and it's a bit shiny and the scent is also very, very subtle, it's the winner, meaning it's the one that I'm going to continue to always have in my bag, wear all the time. I'm so glad that I tried it. It's fantastic. It's so great. I wish that I'd tried it before. I wish I'd been using it for years. However, honorable mentions, because are there more than one or is there just one? A couple honorable mentions because some of these outperformed the Burt's Bees in the texture category. Notably the Nivea Blackberry Balm. As soon as I get to the internet, as soon as I get my phone or get up to my computer, I'm gonna see if this comes in a clear or a less strong color, and I'll probably also wear it. It just felt so good to apply. I wish it were this. You know what I mean? I wish that this were the winner. I wish that the Nivea were in a color or in a little bit of a lower level of pigment so that it edged out the Burt's Bees, because I prefer it as a lip product. I prefer the texture of it. And Nivea also smashed it with the shine level of this one, the rich care and color. So kind of honorable mention to that. That really shocked me. But the other super beautifully thick ones that were very gratifying to apply were the NYX Fat Oil Slick Click and the rom&nd Glasting Melting Balm. Really, really lovely texturally. But both of these are much more like makeup to me. And I think that I'm looking for something that's more like a lip care product that provides a little bit of color. So the Burt's Bees is the winner at the drugstore. Across the board, I feel like these products though have been better, more promising, better to interact with, just more pleasant, more successful than any of the ones in the other videos. Drugstore has outperformed luxury and high-end pretty much in this category, and that's really interesting. I wasn't necessarily expecting that because I really want something that feels good to apply, that feels like the ingredients are good and not repellent and not unhealthy. I mean, some of these felt repellent and unhealthy and the scent was terrible and I couldn't take it. So some of them, but I'm really happy with the winner. I feel like in some ways this winner outperforms the Hourglass, which is the winner from the other videos, because it doesn't have that menthol scent and taste. It just feels a little more healthy, a little easier to wear constantly. But I also feel like I've learned a lot about the different categories of this type of thing, whether it's lip care, whether it's a lip caring makeup product, whether it's a lip balm or a gloss stick. And so I'll probably come back and do kind of a recap of all of these tournaments, sharing my absolute winners and why I love them and what I've learned overall. Because I really did just start by casting out into the wilds of tinted lip balm, thinking how hard can it be? And it turns out harder than you think to find a tinted lip balm that I really, really love. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. I hope you enjoyed this, what is probably shaped up to be quite a long video. If you were watching it while you were falling asleep, I hope you're sleeping. I hope you're sleeping well and that you wake refreshed tomorrow and have a great day. If there's anything that I've missed, if there's a product like this that you can tell based on my criteria so far that I will love, don't forget I'm looking for something lightly pigmented, barely there. If you can think of something, let me know in the comments and the search will go on. But most of all, don't forget to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world. I think we got it.